everyone. Right, here we are. Okay, lovely to see you all today, and probably many more of you are going to be joining in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So just briefly an introduction. Welcome to the ILCA Expert 2023 series. Very nice to see the interest in this, even as the year ends slowly. It's always a privilege to host these events because it's an opportunity for us to connect online, and also it's lovely to see the interest in the topics themselves, which are quite niche. Today we're going to be listening to something quite spectacular, I think. So a topic which is very important and is usually sidelined because it's not the professional side of language coaching, but I think it's very important. So introducing Nevena Mićović here as our speaker today. And before we move on to the talk, a little bit about ILCA, established in 2019. Our mission is to support everyone who's interested in and works as a language coach, language and communication coaching. And we provide a wide range of events, webinars, and also many opportunities to work on your professional development. And this is one of those events. We also have the coaching markers, which provide a framework to assess how much of coaching you're doing in the work that you do. And of course, the comprehensive handbook. And there are a lot of freebies on the website. We have a YouTube channel where we upload everything. So do feel free to have a look around on our website and on the YouTube channel. And the latest addition to what we're doing, our activities, is the International Language Coaching Journal, which will come out online next year. And we have a fantastic editor and an editorial team who will be supporting the whole work that goes into that. So lots of exciting things. And yeah, can we look at the next slide so that we get going? And of course, we've got a fantastic conference coming up next year in Budapest. So hopefully you'll be joining us there in June, early June. And as you can see from the pictures, we have a lot of fun and we really love learning from each other. So thank you all for being here, and let's move on then. Nevena, over to you.
Oh, hi everyone, and hi Gabriela, to you as well. Well, thank you for having me here, and it will be my actually great honor and pleasure to deliver this, I believe, important topic. As we language educators don't spend that much time on the business side of it, and it is important if you ask me. So basically we can start right off, right? I'm not sure if we are waiting for more people to join, but anyway,
they come. Yes,
we'll have time for questions at the very end, so I will be there to provide more if needed. Okay. Just the agenda of our talk tonight. I would like to start maybe just with a few words about myself, so as to understand why me and why I decided to talk about this particular side of my business, and then we are moving on to you. I want to show you how you can do the analysis of your current business or services wherever you are at this point, whether you have clients or you don't, you want to have them. So we are going to look at your business from slightly different perspective. And then I'll get into more business, again, business side. I'll show you some tools that I personally used to create my business strategy, buyer persona canvas, unique selling points. So you might have seen this before, maybe not, but I'm here to help you with it. Then creating the business strategy itself, talking about communication and different communication channels that you can use if your goal is to attract more B2B clients. I picked one example of a sales journey that I want to show you. And finally, I cannot but mention mentoring and self-reflection, which is crucial here in this process. Then I'll leave some time for questions. But before we start, I would just like to ask you how you feel about your current B2B strategy. And we have this famous scale here, numbers 1 to 10. So 1 being, I don't feel confident about that at all. I know nothing about it. And 10, I'm an expert. So I would just like to see what the starting point is for us. So you could just drop a number in our chat. 1 to 10, how confident you feel about your current business strategy. I'd just like to chat. Yes, we're waiting for numbers just to get the idea.
Be shy, go ahead.
Yeah, but even if you just put the number somewhere for yourself, I believe it is important so that you can assess this at the end of this process. There will be the same question at the end. So you can just see whether you made any improvement or not. Great. Okay, we have number 2, 6.
Okay.
Okay. 2 as well. So I really hope that this will be useful for you. Thank you for sharing your numbers. I think that we can move on now. Okay, let me just, okay. So here's my story. Very briefly, I graduated from the Faculty of Philology here in Belgrade. I'm currently based in Belgrade, Serbia, but I also did an exchange student program in Austria, Alpen Adria University in Klagenfurt, and that was when I actually learned about coaching for the first time, language coaching, because I actually visited one school in which they were using language coaching and generally coaching as their methodology in working with very young students at that time. So that was basically when I changed my perception of learning and teaching a language. I came back to Serbia, did a few more projects in Italy and the Czech Republic, but definitely decided to stay here and to bring this change to our market. But at that point, I was 23 years old, didn't really know how to do that, needed some experience. So I started working as a language teacher, English language teacher in one private language school in Belgrade. But what happened, actually, they asked me to hold business English courses. So I didn't choose that, but that's what happened. And that was before COVID. So I actually had to go to these companies and hold business English courses in person. I didn't like that back at time because I had to go to different parts of the city in one day, but I actually had the chance to meet my clients in person and to get to know them. They are my target audience today, and I work with highly positioned business executives in large corporations in Belgrade. And that's how it all started. I fell in love with business, and then I realized that, okay, standard English courses that I was holding at that time couldn't really satisfy their needs because they could speak English, but there was something more. There was this psychological thing that I couldn't, just get to with standard English course. And then I was looking for a solution, how to get certified, how to tell them about the thing that I saw in Austria, but, to be accredited for it. So I graduated in ILCA. So I'm also an ILCA graduate, something that I'm very proud of. I found and I came across Gabriela and Kerry, who really helped me with this journey. And in the meantime, I was working in one of these language schools. I was learning to become a language coach. And at that point, I created my product. So you can see one of them here in my picture. And I'm saying this, I don't really have much time to look at my product and the whole journey, but I will be actually more than happy to answer any of your questions if you have them. But I'm mentioning them because I think that they are, so these physical products that I made for my students, they are something that made me stand out here in Serbian market, because there was a girl who appeared with a language learning planner, something different. And this is the added value. This is something different that I give to my clients. When we start working, they get this at the very beginning of our journey together, and they love the whole thing. I can talk about that more at the end of the talk, but that's how I started. It gave me the courage to continue. And then I actually started my own business, and that's My Language Avenue. So I'm a founder, as I like to put it, the first language coaching center in Serbia, because I'm still, well, not this, we have one girl for Italian language, and I'm really happy that we are spreading the word about language coaching in Serbia. But 2 years ago, when I started, I was the only one who was talking about language coaching in Serbia. So I'm currently educating the market about it. And in the previous 2 years, I have worked with clients from corporations. So more than 80 of them graduated from my programs. All 80 of them come from business, basically. But I have to say that just a few of these contracts have been signed through this B2B corporation. But right now, my plan for 2024, so my biggest profit is going to come from B2B. So it's actually recent, this transition, and that's why I actually want to share this trip of mine with you, so as to shorten the journey for you. So I'm currently in this transition, having meetings, having negotiations, and I'm more than happy to actually inspire you, motivate you, and tell you that as a self-employed language educator, you can do this as well. So it's not true that only schools with 20 teachers can have B2B clients. Not true. You can do it as well. I'm going to share my story and give some tips and tricks, but as a coach, I know that actually sometimes it's not good to give advice. So I want to ask some questions, and you will see questions on the screens that will make you think, but we'll get to them. So from me to you, and understanding your business, it might sound like basic. Okay, of course I know what I do, of course I know who I work with, but believe me or not, when I started working with one of my business mentors, that was the first thing they asked me, and I realized at that moment how much I actually didn't know. I didn't really know who I worked with, and at that point who I wanted to work with, but we sold it with next slide and with learning more about my clients. But that's definitely the first thing that you need to do. Maybe you already have some clients, maybe you don't, but I suggest that you do the analysis, thorough analysis of your current business. So wherever you are at this point, can you make a list with a certain number of clients, the best-selling course, reasons for contacting you? So basically what you have to do, I don't know if it is called this way, but this is what it reminded me of when I did this analysis. It was like looking at my business from above, because as language educators, what we do, we actually invest a lot in language courses, how to become how to become better language professionals, but we forget the business. And somehow you are at the bottom of one bottle. But what you need to go up so that you can see everything that is happening in your business. So you do the statistics, you put the numbers down in order to get to know your business. You answer, who do I want to work with, or who do I work with? And then how can I help them? That's to say, what do I offer? So these two are a must. And as I said, might sound basic, but for me it was okay, I need to do it again. I did it when I started my business, but 2 years later I need to do it again. And the one very important thing is that you need, if you are about to make a business to business strategy, you need to make a difference between your buyer and your consumer. So in this case, you actually sell your services to someone, could be a learning and development specialist or a stakeholder, and then you do business with the end user. So sometimes it's the same person, but usually it's not. So understanding that you have two target groups here, and then making this buyer persona canvas for two of these. So you need one B2C, because at the end of the day, you still do business with individuals. Even when you sign the contract, you do business with individuals. But first things first, you need to sell it to someone, a stakeholder. And that's why the next thing that you can see here, buyer persona canvas, you might have seen it before. Again, I think this is something that we have to do all the time. Maybe not monthly, but let's say once in 4 months, we should go back to this. And what I did, I made two. I made one for my client, consumer. I try to really understand them, who they are, even name, age, profession, fears, hopes, headaches, pains, everything I actually collected in these 2 years. I put that on paper. But then what I did the same thing. I used this canvas. By the way, you can find it anywhere on the internet, PDF, or just an image. You can put it on paper. If you like it, Miro or Miro board, as you call it. I did the same thing, but now for buyers of my services. Because what does it mean? It means that I need to adjust my language and my communication to people who are buying my services. And then I did the whole thing for HR or whoever it is that is buying and doing negotiation with me. I did, okay, who are these people? Who am I selling my service to? What are their headaches? What are their needs? And then I understood them as well. So that's the first thing, to actually understand your business and who you do business with, who you sell your services to. After that, when I had that agreement with myself, okay, this is who I work with, this is who I sell to, I had to define my unique selling point, or let's put it differently, something special. I'm not saying that you have to come up with something new. So here in Serbia, I was the first one with language coaching methodology. I was the first one with this product, but I'm not saying that you need to make something different. Okay, you can still do the same thing, but there must be something true about you, something authentic, something that sets you apart. And how do you get it? You get it here in this intersection between what your customers want, and you know that by actually analyzing them and their needs, so what they want. And then it says here what your business does well, that is to say what you are good at. What have your clients said about you so far? What kind of feedback have you gotten from them so far? So what is it that you like doing, and what is it that they need? In the intersection, you get your unique selling point. I must say, here in Serbia, I don't know about your markets, but it's true that there are many language centers, there are many soft skills trainings, the market is overcrowded, and you need something that is different. As I said, it doesn't have to be called differently, but there must be something about your energy, something unique, something different that you can offer. That was the next thing that I did as well. And then when I have who I want to work with, who I sell my services to, I have something special and unique about me, something that sets me apart. Then I need to make my business strategy. Okay, how am I going to attract my clients? And these are some steps that I followed. I actually set a very clearly defined goal. And for me, it meant a number of clients that I want to attract. And I know the amount of money that I want to actually earn. But one important thing here, it's very important, crucial to stay, if you ask me, true to yourself, because we get bombarded about success on LinkedIn, on social media. Everybody is successful. We have schools and language centers with 20 teachers and more. They make a lot of money, but the most important thing for me as a human being is to actually live life according to my own values and my own definition of success. So here at this point, I would just invite you to think about your definition of success, because yours is not the same as mine. So what is your view of success? How many clients do you want to have? How much money do you want to earn? Maybe it's just 5 clients, I don't know, for a year, and that's all. You define it. Don't let anybody else tell you what successful business actually is, because at the end of the day, you are living your business. So that was the first thing for me. I defined it very, very clearly. And then I ask myself, okay, what are my key performance indicators? Again, that could be a number of clients, amount of money that I want to make. So how am I going to measure my success? Something very concrete, something tangible, like tangible results. And then when I had that, okay, where can I find my clients? I started thinking about my communication channels, how to attract them. I thought about that. I made my action plan and clearly defined my steps. The most important thing for us, and something that I want to share with you, is this communication thing. Where do I find my clients? How do I communicate with them? I don't know if it is called this way. I'm just sharing things from my experience, but let's say there are two types: direct, indirect communication. Direct, for me, you actually send your proposals and your offers directly to your potential clients. And indirect, you don't actually sell, but you build your brand and your business so that you position yourself as an expert. And then what you get is that these people call you and they want to work with you. Starting with direct communication here, this could be some kind of a marketing plan. Okay, I have my goal. This is how many clients I want to have. What is my marketing plan to attract them? Again, this might seem obvious, but here in Serbia, the first thing that companies check is your website. So if you need to take some priorities and rethink them, if you have to choose between social media optimization, LinkedIn, or website, go for your website. At least here in our market, it's very important, very professional. So everybody is asking for your website. So that's the first thing, to have your website ready with your credentials, with your services well presented. But then we cannot neglect social media presence. For us, it's definitely LinkedIn, and I believe that is the case in the rest of the world as well. So it is a business social media platform or whatever, and that's where business is done. But I have to say that many times I wanted to give up on my Instagram profile, but when I did this helicopter analysis, I found out that actually 70% of my clients come by word of mouth. 10 of them come by 10% LinkedIn, and then 20% Instagram. So I was surprised that I actually attracted more business-to-business clients on my Instagram account. And why is that? Because you build a community on Instagram, and these people who check Instagram actually work in corporations. And when they connect, when these individuals connect with you, they tell someone in their company about you. So I would say that we shouldn't neglect Instagram, even though at first sight it's not a business platform. But somehow my clients and some of my contracts, business to business contracts, were signed because of Instagram. And finally, email marketing. Again, newsletters and content that you are creating is referred to individuals who, at the end of the day, work in these companies. So that could be your direct communication plan, where you actually sell your services, where you actually write about how you teach. On the other hand, something that I love even more than direct communication is this part, indirect. So in these cases, I'm not selling anything. I'm just positioning myself as an expert. I'm going to conferences. I'm visiting events, different kinds of events. I'm building my personal brand. I'm writing and I'm being interviewed by magazines, business magazines in Serbia. I like to contribute by writing some blogs, TV shows, not yet, but some podcasts. I forgot to put that on the slide, but here you go to share some value and to teach. Even today, I'm here with you because I really want to do this and share this, but this is positioning myself as an expert in Serbia. So people see that I was the one to share my knowledge, and then they invite me to come to their events. And then you want to sign a contract with business to business clients, and they know of you because they heard of what you do. And this is the longer journey. So this direct communication, much faster. You send an email and you get an answer or no. This one takes time, and I'm still doing it. I have been doing it for 2 years, and I believe that there's more work here. But this is something that I see results of this indirect communication now, 2 years later. So it really paid off. All the content, free content I shared, all the conferences I contributed and attended to. So definitely networking, the main thing. in business. At the end of the day, they say your network is your net worth. So think about that. Here, I wanted to show you one example of a sales journey and what it can look like. I suggest that you make it for yourself when we finish here, and then you maybe watch this recording. What is it? This is actually trying to imagine all possible scenarios. When you send your offer, when you send an email to a client, there are three things that can happen, and we'll get to that. But what I did, I actually made it for myself, and now I'm showing it to you. Let's say that you decide to send a direct email with your offer. So you want to do business with one company, you find someone on LinkedIn, you pick that person's name, find their email address, and you decide to send an email. A few tips about sending emails, since we get them tons on daily basis, and that happens to HR department as well. Your email, needless to say, needs to be clear and concise. You need to introduce your self. And the one important thing, deal breaker for me as well, connect with people. So don't write these copy paste messages that you can find on the internet. Don't use ChatGPT for this, because people can tell that, and they get hundreds of these messages. So make something, you know, put your personal touch there, show them that you really did the research about the company, show them that you actually are very interested in doing business with them, and then tell them how you can help them. It's not that easy to write a short, concise email with introducing yourself and showing that you care, but there is a way. And when I wrote my messages, actually it was draft, a draft after draft after draft, and then somehow I got this short version. But that was the main thing, to show that you really care and that you want to do business, that you want to help them. You're not, I believe, as a language educator, you're not doing this for money only. Of course, we all work for money, but people can actually feel that energy from which you are selling. So that's the first thing about writing emails. And then 3 scenarios. So in every sales journey, you can have 3 scenarios. You can get yes, you can be ignored, and you can get no, we are not interested. And in all of these, there is something that you can do. So if you answer, actually, if you get the answer yes, we'd like to hear more, this is what you should do. If you ask me, you should be ready to schedule a meeting with them. And I suggest that you have this Calendly link, or you can use any platform to make it faster for them, because you have to know that these people are very busy. And if you decide to schedule a meeting by actually emailing them, it's going to take some time, and then people usually give up after some time. So have your link ready and tell them, okay, this is when I can do it. These are my free time slots. Can you pick one? Much easier. If you don't have it, you can make it very easily. You can find this YouTube tutorial, but okay, you can sometimes propose day and time of your meeting. So be very direct. Then once you have the meeting, have your presentation ready. For example, I'm not using presentations in my meetings, because they're usually like 30 minutes getting to know each other. So I usually ask a lot of questions in my meetings, so as to understand what they need and what they have done so far. But I always have my presentation ready. And my presentation consists of the methodology that I use, my programs, testimonials of my clients, and my contact. That's it. Once we have the meeting, once it's over, I make sure to send a follow-up. Whatever the outcome of the meeting was, whatever the agreement was, I do send either an offer if they ask for it, or just thank you for giving me the chance. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future, whatever. But don't forget to do the follow-up. That would be the yes scenario. But you can also be ignored. And this is something that happens. Don't give up. There are some statistics that say that you need to, I don't know, email someone at least 5 times. That's too much if you ask me. I usually follow up once if I don't get the answer, usually 3 to 5 days later. But this time I changed something. I don't send the same email. I just say, I emailed you a few days ago. I guess you're busy. Because of that, I'm sending my presentation and a meeting proposal. When are you free to meet me? So I'm very direct in this second email. And then I can get this yes. And then I go back to, yes, we'd like to hear more. And I do this thing. But if I get the answer and it says, no, we are not interested. And what I usually hear is that, no, we are already working with one English school. We don't need your services. But I'm sure that they didn't understand me because they didn't give me the chance to tell them what I do. And that's why it's not that I don't give up. Of course, I don't want to do business with everyone, but I thank them and I ask them for feedback. So more detailed feedback. You said no. Is it because it is too expensive for you? Is it because you don't know what I'm talking about? So I just need this so as to adjust my future communication. Maybe I need to change something in my presentation. Maybe they don't know what I'm actually doing. So even when I get no, I thank them and I ask for feedback. That would be the third scenario. Again, I would just like to go back to your sales journey. You can do it for email marketing. You can do it for, I don't know, networking events, but try to guess what the possible scenarios are so that you can get ready for this. That's it. And finally, I want to talk about mentoring and self-reflection. I have already mentioned I graduated from the Faculty of Philology and gained my master's degree in languages as well. When I started my business, I knew nothing about business. And today I mentioned buyer persona canvas and unique selling points and so on. So how is that possible? I actually invested a lot of time and money as well in educating myself in business, because I realized if I am a founder of a language coaching center, I need to know how to lead people. I need to know how to sell, how to market my services. So I started with some educations. There were a lot of free educations here in Serbia, marketing, sales. We had Young Innovators program. I applied for it. They accepted me. So I was actually looking for this knowledge and I got it. But then all of these were group programs and they were actually very helpful for me. But then I realized, okay, I need someone's constant support in this. And that's the first point on my slide. It's finding a good mentor or a business coach. The same thing that we are doing for our clients. We know that they cannot learn a language overnight. So we are their support 2 months, 3, 4 months. We can do it on our own, but this is much faster. And then I put accountability partner. Right now, I'm working with a business coach who is actually my accountability partner because I see him every week and he gives homework. I do homework and I have results. So for example, this week, it's Wednesday, I have already had 2 meetings with companies. And that's because I actually work on my business. So I don't only invest in myself as a language educator, I really invest a lot in business knowledge. So accountability partner, it can be your coach, it can be your friend who knows nothing about business or your colleague. But there should be, at least in my case, that one person who you are accountable to. Because you are tired, you have sessions, and you always say, okay, I'll think about my business tomorrow. I'll think about my communication channels. I'll make the strategy tomorrow. And that tomorrow, that one day never comes. But when you have someone who is following you and you're accountable to that person and you promise, okay, next week, I'm going to have my sales journey ready and we are going to go through it. I'll tell you about it. That's when you have, unless you are very disciplined. And I envy you really if you are, again, this is not something that you cannot do on your own. This is what helped me. So having that one person who can be there for me, who can listen me talk about my business. Another thing that helped me also in positioning myself as an expert here in Serbia, being a member of a community. So that can be association, any kind of association. Here we have ILCA, where I hope all members, but networking with people who are actually very successful and very good in what they do, who are very passionate, who can motivate, who can inspire you, and who can, at the end of the day, spread a word about what you do. Also, that's how you can find a business coach. For example, my business coach comes from one community. I'm a member of that community. I met my business coach over there, and now he's helping me. So you can find people, you can find knowledge, and sometimes you can exchange knowledge. So one thing, you don't always have to pay for business coaching or something. If you can help that person somehow, maybe you can exchange your knowledge for investment in your business. Two more things here. Self-reflection. We have something in our chat. I'm not sure if they can check everything right now. Yeah, okay, it's you. So self-reflection. The thing that I loved about ILCA and everything I learned here is the self-reflection. If there was one thing I learned, that was how to make my learners self-reflect and how to make it a necessary part of their learning journey. And then I started applying these things on myself as well. That means I can set a goal, but I can be very flexible about the way to achieve my goals. And I should do that, because if I get no, let's say, as an answer, I can ask for feedback, and then I can go back to my strategy. Is there anything that I should change? Maybe I changed my mind. Maybe I met, so for example, at the beginning of this year, I had one plan and it actually turned out much better than I expected, but it changed along the way so many times. So be very flexible about your strategies. You can have a goal, you can know where you want to go, but be very flexible. And self-reflection is a tool that you must use here. So if you don't go back to see what went well, what went wrong, I'm sure you cannot make it that fast. Maybe you can, but self-reflection is a tool that you need. And always checking with yourself, am I okay with this? Is this my definition of success? Finally, growth mindset. I have to warn you, if you are at the beginning of this journey, that you will get ignored and you will get no's as an answer. But when you get no, it doesn't mean that you are not good enough. It doesn't mean that your expertise is not good enough. And I just invite you and encourage you to learn more, or to actually start practicing growth mindsets, to accept all these no's as a door to somewhere else, because it turns out after some time that you shouldn't have done it anyway. It's very hard to accept that at that time because you're not aware of it. But after some time you realize, okay, I should have gotten that no, because now I wouldn't be here. So that's something that I'm constantly practicing, and that's what gives me confidence to go for it, to send more offers, to contact more clients, and to sign more contracts. I was very quick, actually. I love live sessions, but sometimes in webinars, I cannot see people. I cannot see their reaction. So I can go back to any of the slides. I'm open for your questions. Anything, Gabriela, you can add, ask, or anyone in the call, please feel free.
Okay. So thank you very much as we come to the end of this today. I think it was an eye-opener in that you were very, I mean, you talked about authenticity, but you were there very authentic and very, I think, very open and transparent in sharing your, a lot of insights that you've had in the past few years. So what worked, what didn't work, what is it that you have to think about, you know, and I find that very refreshing, because often these business coaching sort of, you know, talks are about how to be successful, but not in this kind of relatable way, but more about, this is my strategy, and if you do this, then you're going to earn thousands and thousands of whatever currency you want, you know. And I think that's how it works. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of hard work, I think, in what you've presented here. Working, the attending all the you know, the workshops, and I don't know, wherever you've done your own education, you know. So I think there's a lot of background work which people want to skip, and they don't necessarily want to, like, where's the money? That's not how you should be looking at it.
Exactly. There is, I must say, I don't want this to sound discouraging, but it was very hard for me to face it when I started, because you understand that you need, even if you are in business for some time, you need to start over. You need to do the analysis. Sometimes you don't have that information. Luckily, I had my Excel list with all my clients, but sometimes people just don't do it. And if you don't have it, no worries. Do the research. Try to find these people. Try to find their emails. Ask them. Make Google Forms and ask them why they came to you, what they liked about your program, what they didn't like. So also organizing, one thing that I did this September, I made this big meetup for my students who graduated and who finished programs. And after that, I signed, I don't know how many contracts, because these people come from companies and they were telling everyone about this event. So that's one more thing that you can do. But organizing the event took a long time to prepare everything. And it is hard work, but that's why I said it's just about you and your definition of success. I don't like these stories that tell you, okay, this is how you can earn, I don't know, thousands of dollars or euros just by following this strategy. No, maybe I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I think everybody on this call and anyone watching the recording later on, there's this feeling of, I think I have to sit down and really rethink what I'm doing. And I think that the wake-up call, at least for me personally, was, what's my definition of success? And it's such an easy question, you know. Well, I want to be, and then you go a little bit deeper with the reflection, and it turns out that for everyone it's going to be a completely different approach to what's a success. Like for me, I'm always looking at it from a professional perspective. I'm not necessarily looking at business success, you know. But if I have to focus on business, then, you know, I would have my definition, which is not your definition, which is not Katka's, which is not Vanya's, which is not, you know. So it's going to be different for everyone. And
exactly.
I don't want to, you know, hijack this. Are there any questions? Anything? Can also unmute and turn on your camera if you feel comfortable with it. Any questions or any feedback, again, because I think feedback is very important.
Yeah, it was too much. Maybe people are just overwhelmed, but yeah, feel free to go with questions.
Is there anyone who'd like to just share something that they're taking away from today, or they found interesting to?
Great. And yeah, one thing that they can also think about is this scale again. It was 30 or 40 minutes of me speaking, and you heard some things, and some of you were at 2, some of you were at 6. If you want, you can share your numbers now. So how do you feel? Maybe there are some ones as well, like I'm overwhelmed. But hopefully there's some improvement, or this is just self-reflection again. So what is your first step after listening to this? Are you going to watch the recording one more time, or are you going to make your sales journey, make your define your communication channels? You can drop a number or just rethink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can, once again, you can unmute and just share. Okay. So okay, so we've got a 5 here. Okay. And Vanya has a question, which we will look at in a minute. So any other numbers? I know that I had my number, and I have a feeling that it's gone a bit higher because I think there are a lot of resources that I actually have, and maybe use them more consistently, you know, so that's a thing. And networking. And after COVID, that's always a thing, you know, but I think everyone's gone past that. So there are more face-to-face events, right? So
there are. And one more thing, again, I carefully choose the events I go to, because again, we get bombarded with courses, with webinars, with events, and let's face it, we cannot be there all the time. So you really need to, again, according to your vision of success, you put and you choose the events and people you want to hang out with. So make wise choices.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Vanya has a very good question here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it in our chat. What is it that people single out as the most significant in your business course? And do you think Serbia market is big enough for business German? A good question. German was my second language after studying in Austria. I don't know many people who do it. That's true. And I don't know many people who offer B2B services, German, business German. So that means that there could be some space, unrevealed space that you can explore. So if you ask me, it could be going back to making a list of people you want to work with. That could be okay, I'm going to make a list of all the companies who work with German-speaking countries, and I'm going to get in touch with them. So doing the research in the first place and seeing if that is enough for you. I don't believe in what sometimes statistics says, because what statistics said when I started was that everybody speaks English. But now I work with leaders who actually don't know that much English. So there's always some space for everyone, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
And the first thing, the first question, what is it that people single out as the most significant in your business courses? Well, when I started, I didn't see it that way, but most people say that, okay, there is this language part, of course. I work with B2, C1 English speakers, but it's mostly this way of thinking that I change because of coaching tools that I use, self-acceptance. I'm also being educated for another branch, let's say, in coaching. So it's mostly self-perception, growth mindset, some even soft skills that we develop together through language coaching. And that's something that they love about it. It's not only business English. There's much more. So that's my unique selling point.
I agree with that. Actually, that's the way I do it. And just sharing here, the way that I got clients first was, for example, I attended a coaching professional event. I was sitting next to an HR manager who was also interested in learning coaching for herself. And we got talking, and I've been working with that company for 4 years. So there we are. So that's how these things can happen. You know, it can be luck and chance, but you know, there's probably a reason why you were both there. You know, you had similar interests.
That's right. And you should use that.
So that, yeah. And the other thing that you can do is sometimes revisit your email list, you know, of your clients, and just send out something, maybe a freebie, but very often it's just saying, hey, I've got an opening. Are you interested? Do you want to work with me again? Do you have anybody who might be interested in filling this space? It's a very special offer that you know, and you might get, I get clients that way too, you know, revisit.
That's right.
You know, resources. So
many times I actually texted some of my ex clients, or maybe some people on LinkedIn who are reacting to my content, but for some reason they were not getting in touch with me, and I noticed that they were persistent with likes and comments on my posts. So I just texted them, and
Right.
what I got was, thank you for getting in touch with me. I didn't have enough courage to text you, but I really wanted to. Sometimes you just pick the right time, and they enroll a few days later, but people sometimes need this initiative. So don't be afraid to send emails. my view here.
Yeah. I think that's really important, and it's a very important thing. Vanya's saying thank you very much for sharing that. Yep, absolutely.
Yes, and one more thing before we move on, I want to tell everyone about what we have here. I'll just go back so as to finish to this slide as well. Summary. Let's just reflect on what we have done tonight. Maybe your steps. Understand your business and what you do. Then understand both consumers and buyers. So think about these two different groups. Define your own success. Maybe that's the key thing here. Create your business strategy. Define your communication channels, and find either an accountability partner or a good mentor, a friend, a colleague, someone who can help in that process. Yeah. That's it. We had questions. If you want, I'll put it also in our chat, my LinkedIn profile. I'll be there for your questions as well, if you have any. And now something I'm very excited about.
Yes, it's the conference. Yes, there's also a very good question in the chat box, actually, which we can have a look at. So people are getting inspired now. So that's one.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at it.
But definitely join us in Hungary in 2024. It's going to be fantastic. I've got an incredible plenary speaker who will be sharing depth of knowledge, skills, and expertise. So she's one of the most fantastic people that I've had the privilege to know and attend her talk. So she's amazing. I can't say the name yet, but I will soon.
Okay.
So yeah,
waiting for it.
Okay, so Kote is from Hungary. Okay, so you'll be joining us definitely. So that's great. And I think a lot of people from Serbia also, because it's, it's just a bus ride away. So I've done my
exactly
that. So it's
so
easy.
we got the question about which coaching training do you recommend, and maybe which groups. Well, this is the conference that you have to attend. I'll be there most probably. Hopefully I'll be presenting as well. So I do invite you to join us in Budapest next year. Do you want to add something about the conference, the dates?
Yes, the dates will be 7th to 9th of June. Which means it's early summer here, so a fantastic time to come, and a beautiful city, and there will be lots of workshops and talks and networking events. So we've got this good blend.
Amazing.
all three, and we've even got an open air activity which is optional on the last day, on the Sunday. So that's also a great thing to think about. So lots of different Dragana is writing. Yeah, the CEO in Budapest. Yes, absolutely. So,
oh, great.
To look forward
a lot
to.
of people from Serbia here.
So that would be great. And I really like the energy of today. And although everyone was a little bit passive perhaps and not wanting to, a bit shy, but towards the end we really got some really good feedback. Okay, so groups to be a part of. Well, ILCA definitely, right? And training.
Yes, and coaching training. That was my first one.
And having this background as a translator, interpreter, I think that's great because you've got that language perspective, definitely. And having more languages, so Serbian, English, Norwegian.
The unique selling point.
Absolutely.
Or singing, some workshops. Recently, I heard about one woman here in Serbia who opened her school of Italian, but they do it together with cooking. So they cook Italian meals and they go to Italy to attend some workshops, and they learn Italian at the same time. So singing Norwegian, English, translating, there could be something if you do the unique selling point one more time.
And I think it depends on what kind of music, you know, so you can get different niches with pop music or opera or I don't know, whatever. So that
Exactly.
could be really fun to explore. So yeah, I'm curious to hear the story actually. So yeah, definitely. Okay.
Great.
So thank you very much everyone for attending. And Nevena, thank you very much for being a very, very warm-hearted and very generous person in this conversation, and thank you very much. We got a red heart there in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm here for your questions. Yeah, just LinkedIn if you want to find me. This is my surname. Mićović.
Okay,
That's
Nevena
right.
Mićović, and definitely get in touch. Can we go back to the QR code? So just in case.
Yeah, if you want to scan it, just a moment. Yeah, here it is. Maybe it's easier for you to scan, and that's all.
Okay. Very good, very cool. Okay, and we're going to leave it off now because we're on time. We're absolutely good with time. So thank you very much, Nevena. Thank you everyone for being here, and see you all in Budapest. Okay, so that will be great. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay.